thanks for joining me for Get Piano Lesson 4. Today we're going to jump right back into our sight reading exercises and continue to develop our fingering skills and our hand-eye coordination skills. Now hopefully you've been practicing and creating your own finger patterns since the last time we met. Every bit of practice helps when you're learning to sight read on the piano. But we've got more than enough material during this video lesson to give you all the practice you'll need. So let's get right to it. So just as in our previous lesson, try to position your keyboard instrument so that it's next to, or at least close by, your computer screen. This way you can follow along and play along with this lesson as I demonstrate. Now let's take a look at our next fingering exercise. Once again, we have a group of 15 numbers that represent the numbers of our fingers. So let's start this exercise with our right hand in the middle C hand position. And what we want to do is keep our eyes focused on the sequence of numbers as our fingers play the corresponding notes on our piano keyboard. We want to make sure our wrist is up and our fingers are curved. Next, I want you to completely forget about your hand and place your full attention on the 15 numbers ahead as we begin to play them at a slow and even pace. 1, 3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 5, 4, 1, 3, 5, 3, 2, 5, 1. Now, provided that you're playing these notes without making any mistakes and without peeking at your fingers, soon you'll be able to play it a little faster. And remember, the great thing about these fingering charts is that you always get a 2-for-1 value, so to speak, if you flip them around and play them in reverse. Okay, so let's see what this chart sounds like if you would play it backwards. 1, 5, 2, 3, 5, 3, 1, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 5, 3, 1. Now that sounds completely different, although all we did was switch the numbers around. So after you've practiced it a few times correctly, it'll sound like this when you play it faster. Okay, let's move on to our second fingering exercise. Now you may notice in this finger pattern that there are a lot of 5 and 3s and 4s and 2s. Now this is so that we can begin to train our fingers to work in groups of 2. And most likely, if you're just starting out on the piano, your fingers have never really been required to work in such a way before. So this is a great exercise to learn some fundamental fingering skills for the piano. And once again, we're starting out in our first position, middle C position. And let's keep our eyes glued to the numbers as we begin to play them slowly and evenly. 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 1. Now, if switching constantly between 4 and 2 and 5 and 3 seems a little confusing to you at first, don't worry about it. That's perfectly normal. This exercise is designed to give you a challenge, so just play it slowly and accurately at first until you can eventually play it a little faster. And also don't forget to cash in on the 2-for-1 value, as I like to call it, within this finger exercise as we flip it around and go ahead and play it backwards. 1, 5, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 1, 3. Now I think that happens to sound even prettier played in reverse. Just remember, the goal of this exercise is to keep reading the numbers directly off your computer screen or from whatever source you're reading from at home, and allow your fingers to find and play the correct notes on your piano without actually peeking at your fingers. So with that said, let's move on to part 2 of this video lesson, where we'll play another sequence of 15 numbers that will have us moving all around within the 5-note middle C hand position, and then we're going to play one 30-note finger pattern, which I like to call the tongue twister. And you'll see exactly what I mean as we begin to play this very scattered and somewhat confusing set of numbers, because it actually requires a certain amount of speed in order to play it correctly, and thereby increasing the level of difficulty just a little bit. So I encourage you and highly recommend that you master these fingering exercises first before venturing into the dojo of our next fingering assignments.